Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the show. My name is Dana Devine. In case you didn't know, I'm the Community Engagement and Communications Manager for the Metropolitan Chicago Breast Cancer Task Force. We're a not-for-profit organization, and we're working so hard to end the breast cancer disparity, the mortality rate for women of color here in Chicago. After 10 years of action, the Metropolitan Chicago Breast Cancer Task Force has helped Chicago lead the nation in reducing breast cancer mortality rates for African American women here in Chicago. However, a recent study published by the task force shows that breast cancer disparities are highest in women under 40 and women 40 to 49. Under 40, that disparity number is 157%. Alarming, sounds alarming, it is alarming. And to that note, let me just say this. If you suspect that you need to have a mammogram and you have no insurance, underinsured, anything like that, I encourage you to call the Metropolitan Chicago Breast Cancer Task Force at 300 South Ashland. The number's right there, 942-3368, or you can go to chicagobreastcancer.org. Okay, we're moving from awareness to action, ladies. Don't deny, verify. I'll say that again. Don't deny, verify. We are in the fourth quarter of the year, and we've already talked about using your birthday month as your month to screen annually for your breast, your Pap, and your annual physical. And so right about now, you should have made your appointment. And so I'm going to show this one more time in case you need to see it. The Chicago Metropolitan Breast Cancer Task Force will assist you in getting a mammogram if you do not have any insurance. If you're uninsured, underinsured, or if you're just unsure, give us a call, okay? This is a live call-in show, 312-738-1060. 312-738-1060. We invite your questions, your comments, all of that. If you have anything relevant to say, please give us a call. We're live, we're monthly, and guess what? My son was calling on the phone. I tell them every day, don't call me between 5 and 5:30 because I will be working. But okay, we're having a party with a purpose, and I love a party with a purpose. November 10th, and I'm going to show this flyer, and I'm just going to tell you now, I'm scrolling with the flyer because I want you to be able to see this information. Okay, can you see that? All right. It's Beyond October. It's our annual community event promoting healthy lifestyles. Lots of great information on breast cancer and other health topics. Let's see, let's scroll it down. Here you go. This is really the good information here. We have Effie Rolfe is going to be our MC for the day. And we have Teresa Griffin performing, Ronnie G performing, and I'm trying to get that straight for you. Do you need your blood pressure checked, a free flu shot? Do you want to dance? Do you like breakfast and lunch, a little free meal? Raffles throughout the day, including a grand prize of a 50-inch television screen. It's all right here at Beyond October on November 10th. There's something for everyone at Beyond October. We have Kids Corner, a Men's Corner, workshops, seminars, Zumba, yoga, just something for everybody. It's just a great way to spend your Saturday afternoon. November 10th at IIT Herman Hall. Be there or be square. If you want more information, you can go to chicagobreastcancer.org, and it is right there. Help us spread the word that Beyond October is coming. All right. So, the moment you've all been waiting for. Today, our guest is a physician. She's a speaker, and most importantly, she's a breast cancer survivor. Her name is Dr. Sheri Prentis. She brings a completely unique perspective to her experience as a breast cancer survivor, so her story is really good. Make sure you call two friends right now, tell them to tune in. In addition to helping patients and healthcare practitioners transform healthcare and how they deliver it and experience healthcare. She shares her story, her voice, her life, and her victory in a motivational way. So she's had a partial, I'll let her tell her story. Again, this is a live call-in show, 312, get your questions ready, 738-1060. As an expert in transformative medicine, a natural extension of her personal vision and mission in life, which is to educate consumers that about healthcare and being healthy. Please put your hands together at home. I'm going to give my hands, move my big hand clap, and welcome right now Dr. Sheri Prentis. Who could it be? It's Dr. Sheri, the beautiful Dr. Sheri Prentis.
Thank you so much, Dana.
So glad to have you. There's some other accolades that you have been a part of. Dr. Sheri, tell us a little bit more about what you've been doing.
Well, in my time since I've been a survivor, I was practicing clinical medicine for about 16 years.
Okay, so let me just stop you. How long have you been a survivor?
I have been a survivor now for 10 years.
Okay, all right. Woo!
Yes.
Okay.
So in that time, I have served as the national spokesperson for the Susan G. Komen 3-Day. I did that for about 6 years. And then for the last 2 years, I served as their national ambassador for their African American Health Equity Initiative.
Okay.
But recently, I decided that it was time for me to branch off and do my own thing as a professional speaker and in starting my own nonprofit, which is called the Live Today Foundation.
Live Today Foundation.
Yes.
Okay, so Dr. Sheri, let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Talk to us.
All right.
All right, everybody sit back, sit down.
Well,
start
listen,
from the beginning here.
You know what? I have always been wanted to be a physician ever since I was 2 years old.
Okay.
And I did so. I've managed to make it, and
went through medical school.
Went through medical school. I was married. I had 2 children, and looked up one day, and while I was performing my self-breast exam, because the first thing you guys ought to know, you have to know you're normal.
Right.
And so when I was doing my self-breast exam, I noticed something that was not normal, and that was October 1st, 2008.
Never forget those dates.
Never forget the dates.
Never forget the dates.
And subsequently, it was breast cancer, and so I underwent a partial mastectomy. I underwent 15 rounds of chemotherapy, 33 treatments of radiation. I only missed 3 days of work throughout the whole entire process. And after about 10 to 11 months of treatment, I went on with my life thinking that, everything is okay. I've done what I can. I'm going to share my story on an as-needed basis. And then about a little under a year later, I developed lymphedema. And lymphedema, for those that may not know, lymphedema is a condition where you have swelling and potential infection in the limb that's affected. Your lymph nodes are part of your immune system. And as a result of my surgery and the radiation, all of the lymph nodes in my right armpit were completely destroyed. So I ended up with permanent swelling in my right arm, my hand, and my fingers. And I underwent about 16 weeks of daily physical therapy, and then I was relegated to wearing compression garments 24/7 as an option for treating my lymphedema. So I get to wear pretty beautiful bright colors during the day, but at night I wear what's called my oven mitt. It literally looks like an oven mitt that comes up to here and down to my fingers to control the swelling. And it's really important that if you have lymphedema that it gets treated, because if not, if you get like a small little nick, just a small little bruise, and even without getting an insult, that lymphedema can cause an infection, and it starts off as cellulitis. That's the medical term for it. But then that cellulitis can turn into septicemia, where the bacteria spreads into the bloodstream, and you can actually die from that. So it's extremely important to get treated, and hence the reason why I started the Live Today Foundation, which is a foundation that truly focuses on 3 things. In my travels across the United States and internationally, I came across thousands of women and some men, because men can get breast cancer too. But just in breast cancer, not even all the cancers that are out there, because you can get lymphedema from treatment from whatever type of cancer. But this month we're focusing obviously on breast cancer. Yes. And I saw so many people that were not treated. And they were not treated for several reasons. One, when you have, I didn't undergo reconstructive breast surgery. I didn't have to. Fortunately, once my eating came back and I began to gain weight, it just kind of filled on in itself. But when you have reconstructive surgery or what have you, there are either prosthesis or the reconstructive surgery itself. You can really pretty much hide that you ever even were a breast cancer patient, unless you're in intimate settings. But when it comes to lymphedema, especially like with me, if it was just my arm, maybe I would wear long sleeves, but when it gets to be 99 degrees outside, that becomes a little difficult. But when it affects your hands, it's very difficult to hide. And there is a lot of social anxiety around having lymphedema. Every time you don a garment, you're reminded of everything that you went through. There are emotional symptoms that come back and just places you right back into that patient mode. You're reminded of your illness.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it really is. And even from an intimacy perspective, very difficult when you're wearing an oven mitt, as I say, for spontaneity. And physicians, we don't think about those things. We're not cognizant of those things. Or for like me, who I lost my career. I lost being able to perform the clinical aspects of my job because with my compression garments, I cannot perform my physical examinations and the injuries that I used to treat. And that was devastating. And the compression garments they're not without costs. They have a cost factor.
Especially when you get the fly ones like this, the colorful
that's
ones.
right.
I'm sure the basic ones.
Yeah, especially the new
Absolutely,
ones.
But in order to feel like a woman, you don't want to wear a black, dulling out every time you wash it, compression garment.
Exactly.
But, I received that.
Yes.
That this is a daily reminder. Every day. I mean, it's enough for me I'm reminded daily.
Yes.
Of my journey.
Yes.
But to wear a compression garment, that is absolutely a residual effect that is visible.
Right. Visible.
And can affect your emotional psyche at any time.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I found that people wouldn't wear their garments. One, they either couldn't afford them, or two, all of that social, emotional stigmata.
What does one cost?
One could cost, compression garments can run you for like a pair if you needed both the sleeve and glove. They can run you from $150, $225 to $250, or like it was with me, I needed custom garments initially early on. Those custom garments cost me $2,200 per set, $2,200.
Get out.
And my nighttime garment was $900 alone. And you have to start off with a 1-year supply, simply because every 6 months you need to trade them out. And then if this one gets dirty and you're washing it, you cannot dry them. They must hand dry. And so now you need to put on another garment while you wait for it to get dry. So, if a woman is taking, additional adjuvant therapy after her treatment, like me, I was on tamoxifen and now I'm on anastrozole, and you have children and you have other debts. Do you choose between getting that medication and a compression garment when other people just think it's just some swelling?
And we're talking to Dr. Sheri, who is relatively successful.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the woman who does not have insurance.
The woman who...
And she gets lymphedema as well, and certainly can't afford a $225 compression. Definitely not $2,200.
No way. No way.
So what happens to her? Does your foundation assist them and
Absolutely right. Absolutely
ding,
right.
ding.
Ding, ding. So the Live Today Foundation actually does 3 things. One, we educate physicians and other healthcare practitioners like physical therapists, nurses, patient navigators about the emotional, physical, financial, psychological aspects of lymphedema, right? Because as a physician, I understand the physiology of lymphedema, but I didn't connect all of the dots with everything else. So we get in there and we educate them, and we also provide them with resources and referral networks of how do you get this patient to the right avenue to get what he or she needs to address all of those other aspects to help them now have the resources that they need to fully accept their diagnosis and be okay with it. And then we educate lay individuals who are suffering with lymphedema. We educate them so that they can move from suffering from lymphedema to living with lymphedema. Understanding and being okay with who you are, understanding and recognizing that you're not alone in having those patient illness feelings, but now you can move forward, that you are not downplayed, that is just a little swelling and that you're making a big deal out of it, but that big deal is recognized because it is a big deal.
Yes.
And then finally, last but not least, we provide free compression garments to women and men who are under-resourced or who are facing financial difficulties and cannot afford their compression garments. And we're the first of its kind out there.
Okay, so let me ask you, as far as insurance goes, after you were diagnosed with lymphedema, at post-surgery,
Yes.
but it was a condition that presented itself a year after your surgery, your insurance didn't pay for that?
No, ma'am, they did not. No, they did not.
What?
And although certain insurance companies, with the help of physicians who know how to document appropriately, this is part of that educating physicians, coding appropriately, and then using fitters. Absolute Medical, which is a company based here in Chicago, they are now one of my partners. They have fitters that come out and fit you, measure you appropriately, again with their proper coding. There have been individuals who have received some financial assistance through their insurance company, but not all.
But not, and certainly not for free.
No, ma'am.
Wow,
No,
you know,
ma'am. And that's just some.
That's just
that's a rare case.
Sending a woman home
Yes.
without a prosthetic.
Correct. Exactly.
That is just
Exactly right.
sinful.
So, yes, so we're hopeful that with the Lymphedema Treatment Act, which is an act that is proposed before Congress now, in getting that passed, if we can get Medicare to see lymphedema as a condition that warrants coverage under their insurance. We're hopeful that Medicaid will come on board and then the other private insurers will come on board. But it's a fight. And thanks to Juzo, who's which is another one of my partners in providing these nice fashionable colors, I'm grateful that between Absolute Medical and Juzo, we're able to fit individuals to get the proper size garments, and then Juzo to help provide the compression garments for free.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing. The Live Today Foundation, and I hope you wrote that down. And also, while you're writing stuff down, write this down. If you or anyone you know needs a mammogram, you need to call this number, 312-942-3368. 312-942-3368. ChicagoBreastCancer.org. You can stop by there and check us out if you need some support. So, you've been living with the constant reminder. Would you call this the most difficult part?
Yes. It's funny because
of the
journey, because initially when I was first diagnosed and going through, chemotherapy and radiation, that was the worst. But this now is lifelong, unless God chooses to heal me of it. And I wake up one morning.
Is there any?
No. It's not. So this is chronic. It's chronic, and it does not go away. So yeah, I would say this is the most difficult part of my journey.
And so, what have you learned about yourself? So you've been, so you've turned your lemons into lemonade.
Yes, I did.
No question.
Yes.
And now you have rebranded and morphed.
I have.
From being many years of training as a physician.
Yes.
And you are just turning your life around.
Absolutely.
What would you say that you learned most about your journey?
I have learned that that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me is real. It's real. But here's the deal. I used to accept that scripture as I can do anything I want, and Christ is going to strengthen me. No, that really
Preach.
Not really what the scripture is saying. What the scripture is saying is that I can do all things that are in God's will, all things, if I am walking in His Word and attendant to what His Word tells me and in His Scripture, I can do those things through Him who strengthens me.
like
and having that close relationship with the Lord, it was really where I gathered my strength to be able to go through. There were many a days I can't sit before any of you watching this program. I can't sit before you and say that I was strong, I had the faith, and I was going to get through it. No, that was what I learned on the other side. Going through it, I had my moments when I was like, Lord, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
But I have learned that it is possible to reinvent yourself, to rebrand yourself, to go through and turn a situation that you saw as just a mere tribulation into a blessing. You can turn your misery into your ministry, and that you can have the understanding that although my reality may change from time to time, my truth is eternal.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Even though my realities may change from time to time, my truth
Is eternal.
I like it. But we don't have, I wish the show was forever, but
No.
it's not. What is the most important message that you want women to know about your platform?
Okay. I want women to know this, that the reason why I came up with Live Today is because when I came through my journey, I really heard the voice of the Lord tell me to live, but I didn't understand what that meant. But later on, it was quite revealed to me that live, and this is what I want you to do, ladies, live to me, and I want you to acquire this, means to love myself and others, to inspire those around me, to voice my dreams and ambitions, and finally, to enjoy life every day.
Give it to him one more time, Dr. Sheri.
Love myself and others, inspire those around me, voice my dreams and ambitions,
Yes.
and enjoy life every day. Live every day.
Wrap that up, Dr. Sheri. And those are some pearls for somebody. Take those pearls, please. I want to thank you for stopping by, Dr. Sheri, and encouraging somebody who may not even know what to call it.
Exactly.
It's
Yes.
swelling, and you see those folks. I see people with swelling arms, and you're wondering why are they so swollen, but they're walking around with untreated lymphedema,
Absolutely.
and you didn't even know what to call it.
Didn't know. That's
So
right.
I hope that you heard about Live Today, because apparently you give lymphedema. You support other types of diseases that would cause lymphedema.
Live-today.org. Go out to www.live-today.org to find out more information.
All right. So I want to remind you again, if you are available November 10th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., please stop by IIT, Illinois Institute of Technology, Herman Hall. We are having our fabulous annual community event Beyond October. Food, activities, screenings, line dancing, Zumba, bingo, prizes. You can win a 50-inch television, all free. Teresa Griffin is performing. Ronnie G is performing. And the only thing that's missing would be you. So don't let that happen. Also, if you need a mammogram, I got to show you one more time. 312-942-3368, the Metropolitan Chicago Breast Cancer Task Force. You can call log on to chicagobreastcancer.org. Thank you to the Metropolitan Chicago Breast Cancer it's a mouthful. Let me start again. Thank you to the Metropolitan Chicago Breast Cancer Task Force for making this show possible, and for educating women across Chicago and reminding women to know their breast health, be breast health aware, know your history, and make sure you get your annual examinations. Thank you, Donna Lynn, the producer. Music by Maurice Joshua. And I'm Dana Devine. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here next month, Dr. Sheri. Thank you. Woo-hoo!